Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rebel Rewind. My name's Christopher, and with me as always is Eric from Sire Speed Reviews.
How you doing, Chris?
Eric, I'm doing good. That was some finale last night.
Oh man, it was. Oh my God, it felt just like Rogue One, just like
Right?
it just like meshed right into Rogue One.
Yeah. So I don't want to get into it right away because we're going to talk some spoilers if people haven't seen it. It'll be spoilery stuff. So let's save it for the end again.
Sure.
But
How you feeling,
overall, still struggling, man.
man? I hear.
It's been like a week, but I feel like it's slowly getting better. Like I get moments of like clarity.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I feel off because like I haven't been able to record anything because it's not helping the voice doing all the talking, right?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you'll be back in full force soon enough.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like I'm off work next week, so hopefully that gives me time to recover. So
nice.
Yeah. Yep. So, but I mean, yeah, Andor, man, crazy.
Dude.
Did you want to start with the rapid fire?
Yeah, sure. Let's get into this.
Let's do the rapid fire. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me play it.
Rapid fire.
Forgot the intro. All right.
The intro.
So on this date, Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones premiered in London. Star Wars Vision Season 3, the animated anthology series featuring shorts from various Japanese animation studios, will return for a new season October 29th, according to IGN. Andor showrunner Tony Gilroy, alongside Diego Luna, Genevieve O'Reilly, and Adria Arjano, moderated by Patton Oswald, will be in person at Pally Live on May 30th, 7 p.m. at the Writers Guild Theater in Beverly Hills. And this will be the first live event following the series finale of Andor. Prices for this event in general for the general public start at $60. And last but not least, the man responsible for all this, George Walton Lucas Jr., was born on this date in Modesto, California, May 14th, back in 1944. He turned 81 today. And so big thanks to George Lucas for all he brought to us, our childhood memories of watching amazing films. So thank you, George Lucas, man.
Happy birthday to the maker.
Yes,
I feel like he deserves a round of applause here. Cheers, George, if you're watching.
Yeah. He makes 81 look good, man.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
Right? Crazy. Yeah. So
if he wants to get back and make another trilogy, Star Wars trilogy, man.
Or even like come on as a consultant or direct a couple episodes of a series or something. Hey, I'm all for
it. Yep.
But yeah, what do you say we jump into our main stories?
Oh.
So starting with Natalie Portman wanting to come back as a Jedi. So we've heard for a while that she wants to come back to Star Wars, and she revealed in her pitch for a Star Wars Return, and she'd love to be a Jedi in it. So Padme Amidala actress Natalie Portman has the perfect pitch for her Star Wars Return, and I generally hope it happens. Padme is absolutely one of Star Wars' best characters, and throughout her appearances in the Star Wars prequel trilogy and in the Clone Wars, for that matter, she proved how fierce, intelligent, and strong she really was. Sadly, it came to an end in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Padme's death, but that hasn't stopped audiences from wanting Portman's return. She may have the perfect way to do it. So during an interview with the UK, the UK's The One Show, Natalie Portman explained if Padme were to return, she'd want her to come back with a lightsaber. I think she'd have to be a Jedi somehow. She was brought back from the dead. That would be exciting. While that seems unlikely to really happen, it's such a fun idea, and it's thrilling to know that Natalie Portman would be open to returning as Padme Amidala. So is it time for somehow for Padme to return? While it is a thrilling concept, it would be particularly difficult for Star Wars to pull off Padme's resurrection. But we have talked about rumors that she was rumored to be cast as Abeloth, which that would be a cool way for her to come back to Star Wars. But then we since found out that was false. But who knows? I mean, that could still happen. So, what do you think?
I think it's probably the best way to do it. And I know we get in Star Wars can always go back and Palpatine, for instance, bring back somebody from the dead. But I think the best way to do it would be, I think we've talked about this so many times, is doing like a flashback of some sort. Maybe something that we missed, or maybe something they could just add in just to kind of fill in. We get more from her. I think that would be a beautiful way of doing it. I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done before. Bringing her back, not her, but bringing people back from the dead. But I think for me, I think the best way would be, say.
So I was thinking of a possible way they could do it if they did like a what if version of, like, how Marvel did their what if series, and they had like, say they had
for sure.
Like, I didn't watch this whole series, but like they had different scenarios where it's like Captain America wasn't actually Captain America. Like they had Captain Carter, right, or whatever. Whatever her name was. So, like you could have a different reality of her being a Jedi, or what if they explained it in this other galaxy? Like there's all these doppelgangers in this galaxy where Peridea is, and she's out there being a Jedi in that.
That would be a story to tell. I'd love to hear that.
Would you be down for that kind of story though?
I'd be down for that. If they were to
a Natalie Portman, like a Padme doppelganger in this other galaxy,
like a parallel universe in this new galaxy.
A parallel, yeah, exactly. Where things are not what it seems. So like
that would.
Padme's a Jedi. Obi-Wan Kenobi isn't a Jedi. He was never found.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you could have some different scenarios there.
Or dark side.
Yeah.
Dark side, Padme. That'd be awesome if they were to do something like that. I'll be down for that. That's interesting.
Or really, like if she was Abeloth, why couldn't she wield a lightsaber? What's stopping her?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be very interesting if we were to do something like that.
Yeah.
Flesh out a character more. I think we need more of her.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the best way to do it is in flashbacks, and
for sure. That's the safer way of doing it.
In the Ahsoka series with the Clone Wars flashbacks.
Yeah, if they were to do,
why not?
Yeah. If they do like a spin-off or one-off, maybe 6 episodes of Clone Wars Untold Stories or something like that. that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. I'd be down for it.
All right, let's get into my first story for today. So this is a really long topic, but 10 ways Andor season 2 has already changed Rogue One. We haven't even gotten to the finale yet. We did, but where the story was written. So keeping this in mind, we have our top ways Andor season 2 has already changed Rogue One ahead of the season finale. So we've got a lot more of Krennic and what he was behind on Gorman, and one of the reasons why he wanted to take control of the planet was what the land itself was giving. There was some kind of mineral or something that that he wanted control. So he was like wanting possession. So that was his small part of the Gorman, and no way were the Gorman were going to put a stop to the design for the minerals on the planet. So number 9 was the origin of the rebellions are built on hope, which we've seen that on Rogue One. So Cassian Andor himself was present during the fighting on Gorman, and he heard the lines "Rebellions are built on hope" from a Gorman hotel clerk. I think that was a pretty nice little way of.
That was a neat way to.
That was pretty cool. K2SO was really how he really joined the rebellion. So he was hit by an incoming speeder. His remains were taken by Cassian back to Yavin to be rebuilt and given a new cortex, suppressing his Imperial programming, which was a nice little touch on there. I think we talked about this last week about what my idea of what it, and you were pretty spot on saying that no, that's not what it's going to be, but
and little spoiler alert, like if you haven't seen Andor, the season finale, we did find out what happened to our other droid friend as well. So,
oh yes, oh dude, that was
nice.
Yeah, that was nice. So this is going to go on to one of your stories, which is a nice little segue to that. But let's go ahead and continue with number 7. He's a messenger. So we had a Jedi. She was a
force sensitive.
Force sensitive Jedi healer, force sensitive healer. That had spoken to Bix. I'm talking about that. You know, his path. He may not know his path, but he has a true calling, and he's like a messenger. So that was a nice little touch that his presence actually meant something for the future of of the rebellion. So number 6, Andor's relationship with the Alliance leadership. So we had a callback from one of the characters that from Rogue One. What is his name? Captain
General Draven.
General Draven. Okay, yeah. So on the verge of his promotion on Andor season 2 finale, Cassian leaves for Gorman, and the result of Luthen's rails, despite reservation from him for Rogue One's General Draven. So yeah, that was pretty cool that he took it upon himself and did what he had to do. He didn't ask for permission. He's pretty much was saying this is so that kind of hindered him, but I think that helped him at the end that he's willing to do what needs to be done to for the rebellion. That was nice. So number 5, revealing Saw Gerrera's full paranoia. Has explained his Andor season 2 has expanded upon the full extent of Saw Gerrera's paranoia and where it's likely came from. And then on the next one, we're talking about his use of huffing that fuel and why he needed the respirator on Rogue One. So his body is pretty much falling apart for his closeness to the fumes, which is it's addictive to him. So that was pretty neat, and that kind of reminded me of Vader when he on Rogue One. That kind of that was pretty cool. Like the rebellion's version of Vader. So number 3 was seeing how Cassian how Cassian learned to trust. However, it says that we see his Cassian's gradual evolution into someone who's a true believer in the cause with each new episode. And over time, across both seasons, Cassian has turned into a genuine hero for the rebellion, something that was more than likely to come full fruition by the end of the Andor season finale. And number 2, Cassian thinking about Bix on Scarif. How she was like, you have bigger purpose, and I'm not going to hinder you. So you pretty much do what you have to do. We'll meet up at the end after all this is over with. Yeah, and what we saw on Rogue One that didn't happen, but it's an interesting little paragraph on that. So the number 1, the U-wing was Cassian Andor's ship of choice, and we saw that on Rogue One. So it was fun to see the U-wing back again. So his ship of choice. Which is a rare ship for the Alliance compared to X-wings and Y-wings. So, but that was pretty.
It was nice. We got that, and we got these returning characters too, especially in this last arc too. With the last 3 episodes, we got even more characters coming back.
Yeah,
that were in Rogue One.
It was awesome. It's like it felt just like Rogue One.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mace Windu survived. Absolutely. Don't even get me started. I think he did. I'm on the same page.
Yep.
But yeah, so let's jump into the next story, which you mentioned, K2SO. We learned about that, his origins, and that kind of leads into my next story, which was a horror version of K2SO's of his like his what do you call it, introduction. So Tony Gilroy reveals the cut K2SO horror movie episode for Andor. So we heard about like a horror version of Star Wars that Tony was like teasing, and he said it's in the works or whatever. I don't know if this is what he was talking about before or not. But so one of the more notable elements in the last batch of Andor episodes was the late introduction of K2SO. So he got introduced 2 years before the Battle of Yavin, which that gave them time to bond over those couple of years, right, or that year. So I'm glad they brought him in last arc and not like this year, like this last set of episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
So in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Tony Gilroy revealed that he and writer Dan Gilroy originally wanted K2SO to get an entire episode dedicated to himself. So in the finished project, Cassian encounters a droid later known as K2SO on Gorman and delivers his bisected body back to Andor, or to Yavin, I mean. So, but in the original idea around his introduction was difficult, and yes, it still would have contradicted that Cassian and K2SO one-shot comic. So Tony Gilroy explained that his introduction would have come on Yavin 4 and felt more like a self-contained horror movie. So he said Dan wrote an amazing, entirely self-contained episode that was episode 209. It was an amazing episode that was like a horror movie. It was a K2 story. They had to bring this huge, ugly tanker to ship to Yavin, and there was a KX unit that was trapped inside there hunting, and it was sort of like a monster movie with K2 on it. It was really cool. So unfortunately, it seems like the hypothetical episode was cut due to budgetary restraints. Apparently, bringing a CGI droid like K2SO to life is super expensive, hence why it has arrived so late in season 2. So we could not afford to do it. It was made clear that it was out of the range, so we had to abandon that and consolidate things. It's like we did with Aldani. Danny got burned twice. Danny wrote the Aldani episode pre-COVID, where there were 2,000 people in our Aldani. It was like Glastonbury, this huge festival, and then by the time we got together after COVID, they said, well, you'd be happy if you get 150 people there. We were like, oh my God, we have to change the whole story. So everything had to change. So unfortunately, we didn't get that horror movie or horror episode with K2SO, but that would have been cool. But what are your thoughts on it?
No, I kind of felt like we kind of got a glimpse of it though. With episode the last episode. No, it's episode 11.
Yeah, with the massacre, 11. Right?
Yeah, he got his own hallway scene, like Vader, right? Like Maul. He had his own hallway scene. I think that was pretty cool. How he's using it. How he's using. Well, I don't know if I'm spoiler alert, but yeah, it was impressive. So I mean, you may not have gotten the horror film out of it, but we got some close enough to horror. That
I think so too.
Pretty brutal.
I'm happy with what we got.
Yeah, so. For sure. Yeah. So
Natalie Portman, Mace Windu, Bryce Dallas Howard prequel. Yeah, for sure. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. She's a great director.
Yeah, she deserves her own movie.
Yeah, for sure.
At this point.
But yeah, that hallway scene was pretty brutal, and it was like kind of like on the edge, not like horror, but it's really close. I mean, with the way it was shot, like dark and yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I've got one last story for this evening. So I'm more concerned about Rey's Jedi new Jedi Order movie than ever after Star Wars Celebration. I'm going to jump all the way down towards where it says this year Rey and Jedi or new Jedi Order were barely mentioned all weekend. In fact, there are many new additions to Star Wars movies and TV shows that were announced or given major updates. Next to nothing was shared about the progress of Rey's movie, particularly given many has expected that the new Jedi Order to be the next Star Wars movie released after the Mandalorian Grogu movie. There was a genuine surprise. This what made this all the more bewildering and concerning about the fact that Starfighter seems to have replaced Rey's Star Wars movies in multiple ways. So jump down here. So there have been rumors that Ryan Gosling would be joining Star Wars, which we know now already.
Yeah.
Leading up to Star Wars Celebration 2025, they have begun to be specific rumors about Gosling having a role in Sean Levy's Jedi Star Wars movie. Given that they have been little revealed about Levy's movie, though, that felt a bit like wishful thinking. It therefore shocked many, despite the rumors that there was announced at Star Wars Celebration that Sean Levy's movie Starfighter would star Ryan Gosling is confirmed for May 28, 2027. So additional details about let's skip down to the where it says not only has Starfighter seemingly taken the spotlight away from the new Jedi Order, but also it will be the next movie, not Rey's movie, that will define the new era in Star Wars. So, pretty much saying that this is going to be the jump off point for new Star Wars films, not the Rey movie that we're building up to, ever since the sequel trilogy. This also means that the new Jedi Order would have this also meant that the Jedi movie would have had the freedom to shape what the future of Star Wars looked like. But with Starfighter set after the Rise of Skywalker confirmed to be the next movie released after the Mandalorian Grogu, it would be evident that Starfighter will determine where the galaxy looks like in the wake of the First Order and the Final Order's fall. So this raises major questions about Rey's movie will or could look like now. So I think this kind of changes up the whole aspect of what they were, or the future of what they were originally thinking about doing. So until we get more further notice about Ryan Gosling's moving, but that is the next one after the Mandalorian Grogu film. So, and I think it's set that Rey is going to be on here, but she's not going to be the main character. So Ryan Gosling will be the character.
Yeah. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out too. But
yeah,
either way, like I am excited to see Starfighter when it hits theaters. Like it sounds like it could be a good movie, like away from the Jedi, away from the Skywalkers, and just because, like in my opinion, just because the Rey movie got delayed now, like it doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means they're perfecting the script, which is good because we've talked about it on the show. Like Charmin Obeid-Chinoy, she doesn't have any real great knowledge of Star Wars, so like it gets their find a writer. They have I can't even remember who's working on the script now because they went through like 3 or 4 writers now. But I believe the guy who's writing on it is it Stephen Knight? I feel like it's Stephen Knight now.
I think that was the person.
Or he was the guy.
Yeah.
But like it gives them a chance to get that script done, perfected, and do a good story. So like,
I think it's pretty.
I'm all
pretty
for
interesting.
that.
Yeah. So this is Starfighter. So
Hey Patrick, thanks for hopping in. Starfighter can expand on all sorts of lore with new characters. Yeah, and it could bring in who are two star. Yeah, I was gonna say who are two starfighters around in this era. Poe Dameron and Wedge Antilles is still around.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, I mean, it's progress. You know, we're getting some news. Not a lot, but
yeah,
for being the following the movie after Mandalorian Grogu film, you know, I'm sure we're not gonna hear anything for another year or two. About maybe another year or so. Yeah, I don't know when.
We probably won't get another like any trailer till sometime in 2026, if anything. So
yeah.
But they're supposed to start shooting. What he said they're going to start shooting right away. Like in October, I think they're supposed to go into production or something, wasn't it? That he said.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they mentioned that here in the story.
No, I don't think they did in this story, but they meant like on the Celebration Live stage. He mentioned it when he was getting interviewed that they were going.
Yeah, they said
production. They're getting ready to shoot.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Yeah. Either way, like we're getting new Star Wars, so it's exciting. So jumping into my last story, Ahsoka Tano will be coming back in 2025 on Disney Plus in a Disney Plus Star Wars show. So Ahsoka Tano is returning to that galaxy far, far away, sooner than expected, and not in the way fans might think. So Star Wars fans won't have to wait long for more Ahsoka Tano on Disney Plus. Season 2 of Ahsoka isn't the only Disney Plus show where Anakin Skywalker's apprentice is confirmed to return. The Star Wars Clone Wars heroine will appear in a surprising new 4-part prequel series, Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, Pieces of the Past, coming to Disney Plus September 19th. So it's a prequel to the first Rebuild the Galaxy Lego Star Wars series. So at Star Wars Celebration, the original Ahsoka voice actress Ashley Eckstein, announced that she would be reprising her role as Ahsoka for Lego's Pieces of the Past following her 2022 reprisal in Tales of the Jedi.
That's awesome.
However, since Pieces of the Past is a Lego Star Wars series, Ahsoka isn't going to look like her animated Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels self. Instead, the next chapter of Rebuild the Galaxy will offer Lego Brickhead's version of the fan favorite character. There's an image right there. And I think that looks awesome.
That's funny. That's cool, man.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. Like,
it's going to be funny for sure.
Right? So Ashley said, I missed her so much and called the opportunity a dream come true. When I got the call that I was going to be returning as Ahsoka, I cried. I've missed her so much. I've missed you all so much. This has really been a dream come true, and I'm such a huge fan of Lego. I always have so many of these Ahsoka Lego brickheads, and now I get to voice her. So that's very cool that she's coming back in some form. And I don't know about you. I mean, they're not like these Lego stories aren't necessarily canon, but like you could interpret it as canon if you want to as a fan, right? Like the stories that, like, if they took place in the Star Wars galaxy, like they could make sense as canon because they all take place in different time periods that we haven't really seen before, right? So
yeah, we had Darth Jar Jar as the first version of Darth Jar Jar in the last one they made. So and then we have in the game, which game was that? Was it a game?
Oh, yeah, Fortnite.
Darth Jar Jar again. Was that?
I think it was Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah.
The Star Wars Fortnite. Yeah.
So I think that's pretty interesting how it's his own thing now. You know, it's his own, like, let's call it multiverse that Dark Jar Jar exists.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So, like you said, it is canon. It's in its own way.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
And really, it could be something that happens in another galaxy. Even.
Yeah. Yep. That's fun. Those movies are fun. They're hilarious.
Yeah, I agree.
It still gets me
They're just a fun ride. Like I really enjoyed the what was it? Was it the holiday one where Rey finds that piece that sends her through sends her to the past and stuff and through all these different timelines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that one was a good one.
I don't. I may have watched that one. Probably just bits and pieces of that one.
Gotta jump. Amy wants to watch Handmaid's Tale. Boring, but hey, it's not Star Wars Handmaid's Tale. But we got you. Thanks for hopping on.
Yes, awesome. Thank you, Patrick.
Was that let's chat a little bit. Yeah, right?
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Let's chat a little bit about Andor, the series finale, the last 3 episodes. What did you think?
Oh, dude, I loved it, man. Like I was saying, it's just like it just felt like it's supposed to feel before you watch, Rogue One.
Yeah,
and that's how they were saying, like, when you finish watching this, go watch Rogue One.
Yeah, and it leads right into Rogue One.
Even the feel of it, everything. Just, wow.
Yeah. So we talked last week about how like each arc got better and better. Like that first arc was a little bit boring with the stuff in the jungles of Yavin and the wedding. So it was like slower. Then the next week it picked up those 3 episodes. Last week with the Gorman massacre and all that stuff, that really picked up. And now I feel like it was like the next level for these next 3 as well.
I think it says a lot about how it's like a rebellion, right? How this is all meant to be the beginning of the rebellion. How it starts off slow and then just progressively gets, you have convoluted, or you get all this turmoil towards the end, and then peace when they finally have that sense of peace of and then of course we're going to lead into Rogue One, but it was just beautiful.
So I liked particularly how like even at the end of the last episode 12, like Cassian was off to whatever that ring place, whatever, where he meets his contact in Rogue One.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I can't remember the name of the place. It was
I don't remember.
Something ring or the ring something.
TH. There, I forgot.
Yeah, but like then like spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. We got to see where other characters like Dedra and Bix ended up, and Dedra's in the prison on Narkina 5 where Andor was in season 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then of course we got I got what I wanted.
Yeah,
what's going on with BTMO.
Yeah, and he's back on that planet with the crops, and there we saw Bix with a little baby Cassian, which
what happened there?
that makes Rogue One even much more sadder because Cassian dies and
he had no idea,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But like also like who else, like, because like sequel trilogy characters, Poe Dameron, he was born 2 years after the Battle of Yavin. So Cassian and Bix's kid, that it could be a character we see later on, like in the sequel trilogy era.
Yeah,
is it that baby will be the same age as them, right? Like I said, like Poe Dameron was born 2 years after, right? So it's crazy that they're setting things up even for the sequel trilogy era with Andor.
Yeah, Yeah, like we kind of mentioned the hallway scene, B2MO.
Yeah,
I mean,
K2.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was an amazing scene.
Did you like the in the episode where Luthen gets found by Dedra? Like that was a
Oh
great
my
episode too,
god, that was amazing. The acting on that,
right?
dude. How she was like playing off of it, like, and then he kind of caught wind of what's going on, and he kind of knew what's.
And then Clea sneaking into the hospital and killing.
Oh, dude, that was
killing
amazing.
Luthen to make sure nothing gets
Yeah.
gets out, right?
Yeah.
But like also the flashbacks were great with Luthen, and you got Luthen's backstory.
They did a great job.
But did you notice the cameo? It wasn't a person; it was a planet.
Remind me.
So when they're sitting and
yes,
he passes her the remote. You know what planet that was, right? Naboo.
Yeah. Naboo, yeah.
I was like, holy shit! I know, I was like, that's the bridge that they had Padme's funeral across.
Yeah. Wow. I mean,
right? I was like, man,
it kind of felt like it. I wasn't 100% sure.
I know. I saw the buildings and the lake and the mountains and stuff and the bridge, and I was like, yeah, that's Naboo.
Wow. And so yeah, it being Palpatine's planet, of origin, which like strikes right at the heart of the Empire, even though it's more like a peaceful planet, but it was like this is strike straight into the heart of Palpatine. So yeah, that was awesome. I was like, which planet was this? But yeah, I kind of got it, and I was like, I kind of thought about it for a second. I was like, I'm not sure if that's
yeah, Naboo. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's Naboo. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah,
that was good.
Just amazing acting, the cinematography, the camera angles to portray emotions. That alone, man, just so much significance by how they did the camera workings, and this is awesome, just amazing.
It's crazy, like the formation of the rebellion. It didn't just affect people in the rebellion itself. It affected like what's his name, Poltergeist or whatever. Poltergeist, the old guy. Remember he closed the door. And he shot himself.
Yep.
After hearing that recording.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the guy that got killed by on what planet was that when they did the
on Gorman?
No, it was I think it was during the episode The Eye.
Aldani. Aldani. Yeah, that was his manifest.
That was his voice. That was his recordings.
Yeah,
the kid, the young guy.
Yeah, his manifest.
I forgot his name.
Stuff, right?
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either. Nemec.
Yeah,
I think it was Nemec.
Wow, and then and they kind of tied it in with towards the end with on Rogue One's the first mission for Cassian.
That's why I said like he's heading to meet his contact that he meets in Rogue One at the beginning there, and he kills him, right? So, and then the like I said, bringing in the characters, they had the guy with the mustache, in the control room there. They had like we said, General Draven,
Anton Merrick.
Yeah, they mentioned Anton Merrick. They mentioned General Dodonna or whatever, the old guy.
Yeah.
Then we had Bail Organa, of course, which I got to give props to Benjamin Bratt. Like he did a good job portraying Bail Organa. Like you really felt Bail Organa vibes and stuff, even though he doesn't look the same.
Yeah,
I think it works.
They were wearing the same clothes that we were wearing, so it was pretty cool. And even Mom Mothma, the way she looked, like wow.
Yeah, and then you had her talking to Saw about being on Jeddah how paranoid he seemed. Like,
Yeah.
oh, how many spies are you going to send after me? And
it's like, we're not the enemy.
yeah, no, it's crazy how they tied all that stuff up. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that finale and then watch Rogue One right after to see how it feels, because I have a feeling it's gonna feel a lot different.
Yeah,
after,
like a little bit of
after this.
backstory kind of changes up
Yeah,
something that we've already been watching for so many times.
like I said, especially the ending of Rogue One now. Like, now that we know Cassian has his kid that he's never got to meet, right?
Yeah.
And now
Yeah,
it's like, did he even forget about Bix? Like, he must have had Bix on the mind when he was on the beaches of Scarif with Jin. He must have been thinking about Bix, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, he moved on pretty quickly. But
no, I don't think he ever got over, because like he and Jin never, like, they weren't a thing.
Yeah.
So
I think the embrace at the end was more like a, humanly. We're here.
Yeah. Like, we're gonna die. We're here together, right? Like, yeah, that's what I think it was too.
Oh man, like, I'm gonna talk about Toy Story 4, that scene where they're about to get into the be all melted into the fire. Oh, dude, that scene just hurts every time I see that. So I kind of that same kind of feel that you get from Rogue One at the end.
Yeah.
You kind of accepted their fate, like,
all right. And then also, like, Krennic, like, you really got to see, like, what he was up to.
Dude, he was
how, like, he had his hands in a lot, like in the Gorman massacre stuff. Like, that was his thing, getting the resources from Gorman. Yeah.
Dude, he was.
So it's nice that they tied everything in together.
I mean, the way he's just when he's on camera, man, you have to, like, whatever you're doing, you have to stop and watch this guy act, man. And
for sure.
So yeah, Deidre and Luthen scene was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought I kind of felt it was gonna this was the end for him, but at the same time I was like, wow, that's it from him. Bittersweet.
Yeah.
He was a great character.
Yeah, he died for the cause.
Yeah. And no statue erected in his name for all the stuff he's done and what he's been through. Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of the key players of starting the rebellion.
Died in a hospital room.
Yeah.
Not by himself, but
But I love how real, like, the entire series, it felt so real because they used actual locations, right?
Yeah.
For this stuff, like even Coruscant, the hospital, like the Senate offices and stuff like that outside of the Senate, like, it was all locations in Spain and stuff like that, right? So
and then getting some of the scenes that we got in the Senate room.
Yeah.
Mothma, and just brilliant how they tied in, the Rogue One, all new Star Wars film, animated stuff, all into this one beautiful 4-part movie. Yep. So yeah, for sure.
I think it was great. It was a good,
one of the best animated. I mean,
series,
live action Star Wars series.
Yeah. And
I love
great finale.
This season 2.
Yeah.
I mean, except for episode 70. Episode
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I started picking up afterwards, but
like they were still good. They were slower.
Yeah, they were good. They were, progressing the storyline and getting us caught up with where they were at and what he was doing and stuff. So amazing.
Yeah.
So,
what were you gonna say?
No. I was gonna say, what did you rate it? I think I know.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about you? The same?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna have to rewatch it again, like maybe the last couple episodes, and then hop into Rogue One.
Yeah. Easter eggs,
I
man.
think it'll feel different watching Rogue One.
We had so many Easter eggs and lessons. Like we got that before in some of the other episodes, but then we got the general, the Wookiee generals, piece. Like what? It's so many different like Easter eggs. And like you're like really look. I'm gonna watch this again and catch all this stuff, man.
Yeah, no, it was great.
The Star Pack.
Now we don't have any. Now we don't have any Star Wars for a while.
Yeah, but we got this we can mull over for a long while.
Yeah, because I think the next thing we get is it might be the Lego pieces of the past, right? Rebuild the galaxy, and then
I think
Star Wars Visions comes out.
Visions, I think in October 28th, I think.
Yeah, and then 2026 is going to be Maul Shadow Lord. It's going to be the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and it's going to be Ahsoka season 2.
Wow, that's a lot. That's so much good
stuff
coming.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Dude, but 2025 has been.
It's been great.
Star Wars, man.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a fan. For
yes,
sure.
Sir.
But I think that does it. That wraps things up for this episode. Thanks everyone for watching and joining us in the chat. And we will see everyone in the next episode.